Simyayak. Yak Sumanut. Manutan.
Osiris, from Egyptian Asar, is the god of the afterlife, the underworld, and rebirth in ancient Egyptian religion. He was classically depicted as a green-skinned deity with a pharaoh's beard, partially mummy-wrapped at the legs, wearing a distinctive Tef crown, and holding a symbolic crook and flail. He was one of the first to be associated with the mummy wrap. When his brother, Set, cut him up into pieces after killing him, Isis, his wife, found all the pieces and wrapped his body up. Osiris was at times considered the eldest son of the god Geb and the sky goddess Nut, as well as being brother and husband of Isis, with Horus being considered his posthumously begotten son. As ruler of the dead, Osiris was also sometimes called king of the living. Ancient Egyptians considered the blessed dead the living ones. The first evidence of the worship of Osiris was found in the middle of the 5th dynasty of Egypt, 25th century BC, although it is likely that he was worshipped much earlier. Osiris was the judge of the dead and the underworld agency that granted all life, including sprouting vegetation and the fertile flooding of the Nile River. He was described as he who is permanently benign and youthful and the Lord of Silence. The kings of Egypt were associated with Osiris in death. As Osiris rose from the dead, so would they in union with him, and inherit eternal life through a process of imitative magic. By the New Kingdom, all people, not just pharaohs, were believed to be associated with Osiris at death, if they incurred the costs of the assimilation rituals. Through the hope of new life after death, Osiris began to be associated with the cycles observed in nature, in particular vegetation and the annual flooding of the Nile, through his links with the heliacal rising of Orion and Sirius at the start of the new year. Osiris was widely worshipped until the decline of ancient Egyptian religion during the rise of Christianity and the Roman Empire. Osiris is represented in his most developed form of iconography wearing the Tef crown, which is similar to the white crown of Upper Egypt, but with the addition of 2 curling ostrich feathers at each side. He also carries the crook and flail. The crook is thought to represent Osiris as a shepherd god. The symbolism of the flail is more uncertain, with shepherd's whip, fly whisk. He was commonly depicted as a pharaoh with a complexion of either green, the color of rebirth, or black, alluding to the fertility of the Nile floodplain, in mumma form, wearing the trappings of mummification from chest downward. Osiris is the mythological father of the god Horus, whose conception is described in the Osiris myth, a central myth in ancient Egyptian belief. The myth describes Osiris as having been killed by his brother, Set, who wanted Osiris' throne. His wife, Isis, finds the body of Osiris and hides it in the reeds where it is found and dismembered by Set. Isis retrieves and joins the fragmented pieces of Osiris, then briefly brings Osiris back to life by use of magic. This spell gives her time to become pregnant by Osiris before he again dies. Isis later gives birth to Horus. As such, since Horus was born after Osiris' resurrection, Horus became thought of as a representation of new beginnings and the vanquisher of the usurper Set. As the sun was thought to spend the night in the underworld, and was subsequently reborn every morning, Osiris was identified as king of the underworld, god of the afterlife, life, death, and regeneration.